Salutations, hello, hi, and welcome to Basic Public Speaking. I'm Christy Thomas, and this is just a video chat about the remainder of our course. I'm just going to give a brief preview of what we're looking at, what to do, what's going on, what to expect. I have multiple sections of this course. Some are 16 weeks, some are 12 weeks. With that being said, I will give two numbers for the week, but the dates, you just coincide and exist. And remember, there are Word documents of this on Blackboard along with the weekly chats, emails, announcements, and videos. So none of this is new. I just like having the information multiple times in various locations to make accessibility easier. So with that being said, let's get into it. So post spring break, we start with week 10, week 10/week 5. Yes. This is March the 16th to the 20th. There's nothing due this week, but preference before we dive into it, all lessons for the remainder of the course, and this is supplemental lessons, all modules, lesson modules, supplemental modules, and extra modules are open. Everything is open for the remainder of the course. There is nothing new except weekly videos and email announcements. But all lessons and speech assignments are open for your viewing pleasure. So week 10/week 5 is celebratory speaking. The dates are March the 16th to the 20th. There's a couple of modules for this. There's the lesson module, and then there is an extra like celebratory example module that is just various examples of celebratory speaking. So that's all that's for that week. I go in depth with this more with the weekly chat. Week 11/week 6, I'll get this out. Nonverbals of public speaking and communication. There are three modules that coincide with this. You have your lesson module, which has various Word documents and PowerPoint presentations, a video chat, and a publisher PDF. Because there's so much that goes into nonverbals, it's style and delivery, so those are kind of their own separate entities within the lesson module itself, but it also has a video that combines them along with other nonverbals, which is your tone, pitch, body language, proximity, eye contact, physical environment, appearance, and use of objects is all that comes into play. So that's the lesson module. There is a nonverbal communication module, and these are other various speakers, communication theories. It's a supplemental module. I just like to include these with some of the modules, some of the lessons. But it's various theorists, speakers, scholars that discuss more in depth about various theories and lessons within nonverbal communication and just how it comes into effect when it's public speaking. And then third, there is a nonverbals video module, and in it are there's music videos, musical numbers, dance numbers, lyrical, ballet, aerial, gymnastics, and ice skating, and probably a few other things. And these are videos that just kind of really give examples of how the nonverbals, and that is your body, your facial expressions, your proximities, how it can aid in telling a story. And that's where the storytelling aspect comes of it. I think nonverbals is fascinating. So those are the lessons. That's the lesson for that week. But you also have your second storytelling speech, which is aptly named Vlog It Out, is due on Friday the 27th by 5 o'clock. I have gone into detail on several videos in that, and it has its own module. That module, you're going to find a Word document and a video chat of me discussing it. But really, you have so much freedom with this speech. All I ask is that you just submit a video of yourself delivering the speech, and you give it personal flair. Whatever you choose to discuss about in this Vlog It Out style, personal flair. So you can have fun with that. I also want to preference with that the following week, when I would normally grade this speech, I won't have my grade book. I won't have access to my grade book in close vicinity. My kids are on spring break with their school district, and I will be taking them on a trip. So I'm still available for emails and communication. I just won't have my grade book, so I don't want you to anticipate seeing that gradebook updated. And it is always, if you know you've submitted the speech and it doesn't show it yet on gradebook, that means I just haven't updated it on Blackboard. And I know I had a class that I was a little late on updating the gradebook. I was sick I was sick a few weeks ago and just didn't have it in me. I'm going to be honest, but I'm feeling much better, and here we go. So week 11/week 6 is your nonverbals, and that Friday, March the 27th by 5 o'clock, the second storytelling speech is due. Vlog it out. Details are in the module. Details can also be found in previous weeks in the weekly announcement videos as well. Just also be aware that the grade will not be updated the following week. It probably won't be updated till the middle of, probably around April the 8th is what I'm going to say here. But I just wanted to make you aware that if like, oh my gosh, I know I submitted this, she's not updated it. Because I usually get it done within a week. That's what I put in the syllabus. But I also let you know when I don't get it done. Won't have it done in that timely manner. Okay, let's move forward, shall we? So week 12/week 7, these are the dates, March 30th through April the 3rd. Persuasive speaking and arguments. This is the final genre that we are discussing in this course. If you remember the beginning of the course, I said we discussed 3 main genres. This is informative, celebratory, and persuasive. Well, we talked about informative in the beginning. We just talked about celebratory post spring break. Well, this is the final one. So these lessons dive deep into the purpose and delivery of persuasive speaking. The purpose of persuasive speaking is to influence your audience to change a belief, a thought, or a value. You're wanting your audience to start or stop an action. But if you take it to the bare bones of it, or the bareness of it, you are wanting to sway your audience in the way of your topic. If you want to tell us, and like every other speech, there's formal and informal, but under persuasive speaking, this is where you get more of your political speaking. And that's more of a formal speaking as well. And it could be governmental, it could be local, but it's also, I don't want you to think it's all has to, like persuasive speaking has to be political and deep. It's not. It could be something as simple as why I need to go eat at a specific restaurant. And also, if you think about ads and slogans and all that stuff, that falls under persuasive speaking because they are trying to persuade their audiences to try their food or their product. So within that, you're going to have those lessons. That module was going to have various Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, and video lesson chat, breaking it down as well. And we're going to hear more. We've talked about it before, but in this lesson, you're also going to hear more about how to enhance your persuasiveness by using logos, ethos, and pathos. And remember who put that down for us? The granddaddy of public speaking as we know it, Aristotle. And all that is your logic, your credibility, and your emotion, and how all those come into play when it comes into persuasive speaking. I mean, it comes into play with all of your public speaking, but really, especially with the credibility and the emotion portion, when it also comes to persuasive speaking, it has multiple forms. This can various contexts. This is debates, rallies, sells, discussions, advocacy. So really check that out. There's nothing due that week. So week 12/week 7, there's nothing due. So be looking over persuasive speaking and arguments. That is gearing us up because the final speech of this course is a persuasive speech. Great, grand, and wonderful. Now let's go ahead and move into week 13/week 8. This is just your extras. There's not a definitive, you need to check out this lesson. So look over it. And then there is a module that says lesson. So you can check that out. Or if you just want to go back and recheck out. This is kind of just an extra week of checking out all the lessons on Blackboard. Revisiting, looking over this, that, and whatnot. So, it's extras, but also there's a listening ethics and audience analysis ones that I haven't said you have to specifically look at those. This would be a great week to look over those modules. And these come into play because it breaks down how there's listening and hearing. Listening is generally auditory to respond, yay, nay. And then hearing is truly, intently listening to the auditory within the communication process. If you remember that at the way beginning of the course, communication theory, is where you intently listen to decode, encode, respond world. And also where this is the portion where we're deciphering the verbal, nonverbal as well. And how it also discusses, especially the listening ethics, how we as a speaker and a listener are taken upon us to be good listeners and to make ourselves credible with our information. So it's extras, audience analysis, listening ethics. Check those out. They haven't been required to this point, and they coexist with the nonverbal world, and all of it together in the realm of public speaking coexists together. You have a due date this week at the end of, which is also can be used as a work week, is your third main speech. That will be discussed in detail in the announcement videos. And this also has a module as well. In that module, you're going to find a video chat and a Word document with the description and requirements. Because it is a main speech, there are some requirements. I'll go ahead and tell you those requirements right now. You must submit an outline. Because remember, main speech 2, 3, and 4 all have outlines. A video of yourself delivering the speech, I'm looking for at least 2 minutes here, would be great. If you fall right under, no biggie. It's when you're not hitting a minute, that's when we're going to have a little bit of issues with time. So again, say it out loud. Record yourself. Get yourself ready. And this is where you also have one oral speech citation due. That means an in-speech quote, citation, blurb, whatever. We'll go into detail with that as well. And because you have an in-speech citation, a MLA citation is due along with the outline. And again, make it easy on yourself. There are sites and apps that you literally plug your information into and can copy and they generate the citation for you, copy and paste it and tack it on to the bottom of your outline. Nothing to stress about here. This is a third main speech, and it's aptly named Tell Me a Story. This speech in kind of merges together and coexists and lives with various genres. Informative, celebratory, storytelling. All three of those can come into play and coexist together and just be happy, because this is a choose your own adventure. You can quickly, I'm just going to discuss what you can, some options. You can read a book, but if you're going to read a book, read a children's book. I'm thinking like itty bitty up to pre-K, kindergarten, first, second graders, like a Dr. Seuss book or a fairy tale, something charming, something sweet, to the point. If you choose to read a book, that is your oral citation. So all you got to do is create an MLA citation for the book itself. Pretty straightforward. MLA. I'm sure you had to do MLA citation in your educational journey thus far. That's why I say MLA, it's the most common. All right, so your in-speech citation would be the book itself, but give it flair. Talk as though you would be, as if you were reading it to a bunch of itty-bitties. And when you read it to itty-bitties, you don't normally speak in a monotone voice. Nay. You give it flair, you give it personality. The characters, maybe you incorporate body movements or facial expressions, or you change your voice. Those are just various examples. So, option 1. Option 2, you can create a commencement speech. And if you're in a dual credit class and you're giving a commencement speech, let me be your test subject. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear it. You can do a tribute, eulogy, or a memory speech. Any of those can work as well. So, you can do those. Someone close to you or someone famous. I have no preference. You can do a review of a book, a movie, a film, which is a movie. I don't know why I said it twice. Literature, CD, television show, do a review. You can, in the vlog it out, You can do a lot of the same stuff they had in Vlog It Out. So if you had multiple ideas for the second storytelling speech, feel free to incorporate here. But all I ask is that there is an in-speech citation. So if you're not choosing to read a book and you're doing something else, choose a quote, a blurb, a statistic, something interesting, a lyric that coexists and coincides with your topic. Perhaps you're doing a eulogy for Ozzy Osbourne and you start your speech with a quote from a lyric, one of his song lyrics. Boom. There is your citation. And like I said, there's sites and apps that help you create the written citation to tag onto your outline. But details are somewhere else. That's due by Friday, April the 10th by 5 o'clock. So just be aware of that. Moving on into next week, which is week 14 / hold on. Week 14. Nine, maybe? Okay. The dates are April 13th through the 17th. Nothing is due this week, and you can check out, there's a module called Speeches, and it's just famous speeches or speakers through history. And it's not all of them. There's so many more. I just try to put a few in there for various examples. So you can check that out. And this is where you can also start these next few weeks, or these weeks in general, can be used as work weeks as well. For any missing work that you may have, I know, crazy, but any missing work that you may have, please utilize these weeks where we are no longer in-depth lessons, but checking out supplemental lessons and work on things that are missing, or start prepping yourself because you got the final, we're starting to get all the final stuff is due. So this week 14/8, I do believe, there's nothing due. Nothing is due. You can recheck out modules, check out the extra modules, or check out the module with the speeches throughout history. Week 15/10, 11. Anyway, this is April 20th through the 24th. This is set aside specifically for a work week. We have no lessons this week. You do have your final storytelling speech due on that Friday, April the 24th. This is about summer, spring festivities, and all this, the topic for this speech. All that's due is a video of yourself delivering the speech, but the topic is just discuss with me what makes you happy in spring and summertime. Is it, a hobby? Is it perhaps you're a plant parent? Perhaps you like to go hiking or fishing or just walking in the sunlight or being a beach bum? Tell me about your favorite activity in spring and summertime. Is it because there's barbecues, picnics, reunions, all of that stuff? Take all that into account. Could it be because you get to go on vacation, or maybe it's just summertime and you thrive in the sunshine? You could tell me, are you a fireworks enthusiast, or you could tell me about your favorite food or snack that maybe you only get at picnics or barbecues or in the summertime. Like, I love watermelon, and of course watermelon is in season in the summertime. Or do you go to the farmer's market? Maybe you want to tell me about that. Just whatever makes you happy in spring and summer, talk about that. That's the only thing with the topic here. That's due on Friday, April 24th by 5 o'clock. The next week, this is week 16. Week 16 is the final week of this course, because the following week, so it would be week 16, week 12. Okay, which is April 27th through May 1st. This is the final course week of the course, because the following week, which is finals week, May 4th through the 8th, is when the finals is due. So this week on April 27th through May 1st, the second, also set aside as a work week, because your final speech is due during finals week, and it's your most technical requirement heavy. But let's discuss this week. You have your second, due by Friday, May 1st at 5 o'clock, is your second round questionnaire of the Canon's Rhetoric. Again, there are no right or wrong answers to this. This is the exact same questions you answered at the beginning of the course, only this time you're hopefully applying what you have learned in this course and applying it to these questions. And this is a way for me to gauge what works and what doesn't work. what do I need to go over more in depth or pull back on, or what do I just need to include? So it's an engagement for me to figure, just to kind of see where we stand in this course. Again, there are no right or wrong answers to these questions, but we're just taking what we learned. They're exact same questions from round 1. And this is also a work week because, like I said, next week finals is due. So let's discuss final week. So that's May 4th through the 8th. Wednesday, this is the only date different than anything else. Wednesday, May the 6th by noon, your final is due. That's why I've allotted so many of the last few weeks as work weeks, because you have so much, you have the last 3 weeks, something is due. But be aware of this noon due date. The final speech is due. This is a persuasive speech. Details are in the module. A video of yourself for delivering the speech is required. 2 in-speech citations. It's a persuasive speech. We've discussed persuasive already. Because there is in-speech citation, there is a works cited due along with the outline for the speech. In the module, you'll find a Word document and a video chat of me discussing the technical requirements and the description of the speech, what I'm looking for. And then there will be a link to upload the speech itself, and then a link to upload the outline/works cited as well. This is due Wednesday by noon, May the 6th. And I will also make you aware, if you have anything missing whatsoever, you have until Wednesday, May 6th at noon to submit. I will not accept any work past noon on Wednesday, May 6th. I will start working on grades and getting them submitted. So be aware of that. This is just a weekly recap from post-spring break to finals week of these courses. So just, there will be a Word document as well on Blackboard, along with weekly chats, videos, and email announcements. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.